Have you ever noticed how a good chat with a friend can leave you feeling lighter, happier, even a bit more you? Maybe you've had one of those mornings where a neighbor pops by unexpectedly, and suddenly, the day feels brighter. Or perhaps you've felt that little spark of energy after a phone call with your granddaughter, laughing about something silly. Those moments aren't just nice, they're necessary. In fact, science tells us that staying socially connected as we age isn't just good for our hearts. It's good for our lifespan. That's right, those conversations, those shared laughs, they're like a secret ingredient for living longer, healthier, and yes, happier. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Easier said than done. Maybe your circle's gotten smaller over the years. Or you've moved to a new place and haven't found your people yet. Or maybe you're just out of practice. But here's the thing. Building connections doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't require a packed social calendar or being the life of the party. Sometimes, it's as simple as reaching out in a way that feels right for you. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. 6 easy, everyday ways to stay engaged, feel connected, and yes, add a little more life to your years. Let's start with something many of us overlook, something that's been right under our noses all along. Reconnecting with old friends. Now, I'm not talking about tracking down your entire high school class, unless you want to. I'm talking about that one friend you lost touch with after retirement, or the cousin you used to swap recipes with. You'd be amazed how a single hello can reignite a bond. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. A short note in the mail, remember how exciting it is to get something that's not a bill. Or a quick phone call saying, I was just thinking about you. No agenda, no pressure. And if you're worried it's been too long, trust me, they'll probably be thrilled to hear from you. My friend Martha hadn't spoken to her college roommate in 20 years. She finally sent a card last fall. Just a, how's life? And now they Zoom every Tuesday. 20 years. Gone in an instant. That's the magic of, what if? Now, if reaching out feels daunting, here's a trick. Start small. Send a text with a photo of a memory you share. Found this picture of us at the lake. Remember how hard we laughed when the canoe tipped over? Shared history is instant glue. And if they don't respond? That's okay. You've still done something brave, and that counts. Next up, finding your flock. And no, I don't mean literally. She chuckles. I'm talking about joining a group or club that aligns with your interests. Now, before you say, clubs aren't for me, hear me out. This isn't about forced small talk over stale cookies. It's about finding people who get your passion. Whether that's gardening, mystery novels, or birdwatching. Think about what makes you light up. Is there a hobby you've always wanted to try? A skill you'd love to share? Local community centers, libraries, even churches often have groups that meet regularly. And here's the secret, everyone there is hoping to connect, too. You're already starting on common ground. My husband Jim joined a woodworking group last year. He walked in terrified he'd be the new guy, and walked out with 3 friends and a gorgeous birdhouse. And if stepping into a room full of strangers feels intimidating, and believe me, I've been there, try this, arrive early. That way, you can chat with the organizer or one other person before the crowd arrives. Bring a little something to break the ice, like cookies or a photo of your rose bushes. Or better yet, volunteer to help set up. It gives you a role, a purpose, and suddenly, you're not just a participant. You're part of the team. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what if I don't like groups? That's okay. Maybe your group is just one other person. My neighbor Ed never liked crowds, so he started a 2-person chess club with a guy he met at the park. They meet every Thursday, rain or shine. The point isn't the number. It's the connection. Reconnecting with old friends and finding your flock, these aren't just items on a checklist. They're invitations to remind yourself how much you matter to others, and how much others can matter to you. And the beautiful thing? This is just the beginning. There are so many ways to weave connection into your days. Simple, joyful ways that fit your rhythm. So why not start today? Pick up the phone, jot down a note, or take a deep breath and walk into that community center. Your future self, and maybe a future friend, will thank you. You know, sometimes the things that feel the most unfamiliar end up becoming our greatest allies. Take this photo album, for instance. My grandson helped me digitize these old pictures last year. At first, I grumbled about fancy tech, but now, I can send a memory from 1972 to my sister in Florida with a single click. It got me thinking. Staying connected isn't just about who we've always been, it's about who we're still becoming. So let's talk about 2 more ways to nurture those connections, starting with something that might surprise you. Embracing technology. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "I'm too old for gadgets," hear me out. Technology isn't about keeping up with the latest trends, it's about keeping up with the people you love. Think of it as a bridge, not a barrier. My friend Helen resisted smartphones for years, until her granddaughter moved across the country. Now they have Sunday snack chats over video calls. She even learned to use emojis. "Grandma," her granddaughter said, "you sending me a taco emoji is the best thing ever." Start small. Ask a loved one to walk you through video calls. Most kids or grandkids would leap at the chance to teach you. Or join an online group tailored to your interests. There are forums for everything from classic car restoration to baking sourdough. And if tapping screens feels fiddly, try a voice-controlled smart speaker. You can say, "Play Frank Sinatra," or "Call my daughter," without lifting a finger. The goal isn't to master every app, it's to find 1 or 2 tools that make your life richer. And if you hit a snag, that's okay. My first Zoom call, I spent 10 minutes talking to myself because I didn't realize I was on mute. We've all been there. The point is to keep trying, because on the other side of that frustration could be a grandchild's graduation you'd have missed, or reconnecting with an army buddy halfway around the world. Now let's talk about something that feeds your soul and your social life. Giving back. Volunteering isn't just about helping others, it's about reminding yourself how much you still have to offer. And I don't mean signing up for a grueling schedule. It could be as simple as reading to kids at the library once a month, knitting hats for preemies, or sharing your career wisdom at a local school. When you volunteer, you meet people who care about the same things you do, and that's fertile ground for friendship. Take my buddy, Carl. After his wife passed, he felt adrift. Then he started driving meals for a senior outreach program. Not only did he bond with the folks he delivered to, but he also met other drivers. Now they have a weekly coffee club. Turns out, he told me, the best way to feel less lonely is to make sure someone else isn't lonely either. And if mobility's a concern, there are plenty of ways to contribute from home. Write letters to isolated seniors through organizations like Love for the Elderly, or transcribe historical documents online for the Smithsonian. You're not just passing time, you're leaving a legacy. Plus, studies show that volunteering regularly can lower blood pressure and boost mood. It's like a vitamin for your heart, in every sense of the word. Here's the secret nobody tells you. When you give your time or talents, you're not just filling someone else's cup, you're filling yours, too. My neighbor Ruth started teaching piano to a shy 10-year-old down the street. Now that girl plays duets with her every Saturday, and Ruth says it's the highlight of her week. "Feels like I've gained a granddaughter," she told me. Technology and volunteering, these aren't just tasks to check off. They're invitations to stretch, grow, and surprise yourself. Maybe you'll discover a passion for virtual museum tours, or strike up a friendship with a fellow volunteer who shares your love of crossword puzzles. Every connection, big or small, is a thread in the tapestry of your life. And the more threads you weave, the warmer, brighter, and more resilient that tapestry becomes. But don't worry, we're not done yet. There are still more simple, joyful ways to keep your social world vibrant and alive. So why not pour yourself a cup of tea, take a deep breath, and get ready to discover even more possibilities. There's a saying I've always loved: growing old is mandatory, but growing lonely is optional. And you know what? It's true. The connections we nurture, whether they're decades old or brand new, are like embers in this fireplace. They keep us warm, bright, and alive. So let's talk about 2 more ways to tend those flames, starting with something that gets your heart pumping and your spirit soaring. Moving together. Now, I'm not suggesting you train for a marathon, unless you want to, but moving your body with others. That's a double win. Think walking clubs, gentle yoga classes, or even dancing in your living room with a friend. My buddy, Evelyn, joined a stroll and roll group at her local park. They walk for 20 minutes, then sit and swap stories over lemonade. Half the time, we forget to watch our step because we're laughing so hard, she says. The key is to find something that feels like fun, not fitness. Physical activity releases those feel-good endorphins, but doing it with others? That's where the magic happens. You're not just lifting your mood, you're building camaraderie. And if getting out feels tough, invite someone to your space. My neighbor, Louise, hosts a chair yoga coffee hour every Thursday. They stretch, sip decaf, and solve the world's problems. We've perfected the art of the downward dog, and the upward gossip, she jokes. Now, let's talk about my personal favorite, bridging generations. There's something extraordinary about sharing time with someone decades younger. It's like swapping a flashlight for a lantern. You offer wisdom, they offer wonder. And suddenly, the world feels bigger again. Maybe it's mentoring a young professional in your former field. Or joining a storytelling hour at a school. Kids will hang on your every word, especially if you tell them about the olden days when phones had cords. My friend, Gerald, volunteers at a tech help cafe run by teens. They teach me Instagram. I teach them how to write a thank you note, he says. Turns out, we've both got a lot to learn. These connections don't just fill your calendar. They fill your soul. Like this blanket my granddaughter and I made together. Every stitch is a memory. The time she dropped a needle and we searched for it for an hour. The way she gasped when she finally mastered a knit stitch. Those moments. They're the ones that stick with you. And them. Let's take a breath and look back at the ground we've covered. Reaching out to old friends, finding your tribe, embracing technology, giving back, moving with others, and bridging generations. 6 paths, but they all lead to the same truth. You matter. Every conversation, every shared laugh, every moment you show up, it all adds up. Not just to a longer life, but a richer one. Now, I won't pretend every day will be easy. Some days, loneliness might knock on your door. When it does, remember this. You've got a toolbox now. Pick one thing, just one. Send a text. Attend a class. Share a story. And if it doesn't work, try another. Connection isn't a destination, it's a journey, and every step counts. I'd love to hear your journey. Drop a comment below. Tell me about a friend you reconnected with, a club that changed your life, or a grandchild who taught you TikTok. Let's create a conversation as vibrant as the ones we've talked about today. And if this resonated with you, pass it along. Hit like, share it with someone who needs a nudge, and subscribe. Together, let's keep proving that life after 60 isn't about slowing down. It's about lighting up. Here's to your next connection. May it be just around the corner.